Welcome in. Today we're doing Kentucky Baos, or also biscuits and gravy balm. The prep time is about 20 minutes, cook time is 20 minutes, so it's not very long, but it's a hearty breakfast made with buttermilk biscuits stuffed with some sausage gravy. Let's start by prepping our sausage gravy. We need butter, flour, milk, then also the seasonings of garlic powder, white pepper, and salt. You can use regular black pepper. I just prefer the white pepper. For the flour, you don't need a full cup. Just about 3/4. You will be using it for the entire recipe. And set the oven to 375. I set mine slightly higher because for some reason it never heats up to full temperature that I put on. For the sausage that I use hot country style. It just adds a little bit of a kick, but you can just use regular pork sausage breakfast gravy if you don't want that little kick. Once the butter has coated the pan nice and buttery, we're going to add the sausage and just work with it until it's all nice and brown. Definitely don't leave any pink in there. The best part of sausage gravy, the breakfast one, you don't have to do any draining, so you can just add the other ingredients once it's all nice and brown. I try to chop mine pretty small little bits. I don't like it really chunky just because we're going to be packing it into the biscuits in a minute. So you don't want those too chunky. Here we're just double checking for any pink, making sure to cook it extra time. See, I'm pointing to like little bits of pink that we're just gonna keep on working with until it's all nice and brown. Now that everything is all brown, we're going to work in the flour and milk. I think overall I added about 2.5 cups of milk. You want to add them in sections. That way you can kind of judge how thick the gravy is going to be, because the milk, as it warms up, it will obviously melt with the flour, and the flour is kind of what's thickening it. This right here is up to you on how thick you like your sausage gravy to be. I like mine to be decent, but also remember that as it cooks and then after it gets done cooling, it will thicken up also. And so we're just adding in a bit more milk, a bit more flour, making it the consistency that we want. Also, with the milk, if your sausage gravy is a bit too spicy, the milk does a great job of cooling down the spice. Once you get the consistency that you like, it's time to add the seasonings. Here I am adding salt, garlic powder, white pepper, and some cayenne pepper. I only added a little bit of cayenne, but it was okay on this. I think I should have added more after everything was cooked. Once it's all mixed up, turn off the burner and set it to the side to cool down, so that way it's not too hot while you're putting it in the bread. Okay, we are just going to melt a little bit of butter and line it in the pan, just so that way the bombs are easier to get in and out of and you don't have to worry about them sticking. Keep the butter and set to the side because we will use it as a topping later on. We are going to be rolling out some Grand's Southern Homestyle fluffy. Make sure not to get the flaky kind, just the fluffy Homestyle. This is where you will be using the flour. The rest of the flour is good because you're going to be rolling it out and you do not want the dough to be sticking to everything. The flour really helps out with that on your hands and just everywhere. You're going to grab one roll and try to flatten it out as flat as you can. The flatter you get it, the more sausage gravy you can stick in and kind of pack into them, and then they just turn out way better. You could definitely flatten with your hands. I am also bringing out my roller. You can see that the roll is going to be sticking to the pin roller, and then that's whenever you really want to use that flour. It just helps, it kind of makes things quicker too. And once it's flattened out how you would like, you're going to go get the gravy and start spooning it in. I use about 2 heaping spoonfuls just so that way I don't make a mess. to close this up, you're going to pinch the edges along like this and fold it like so. Once you get it all nice and folded, I kind of like turn it a little bit almost so that way it fully closes. And then when you set it into the pan, remember to set this seam side down like so. Then you will just do the same thing for the rest of your biscuits. Now, if you do add just a little bit too much gravy, as long as you gently pull on the biscuits, the dough will not fully separate. You just got to be really gentle, and then you should be able to kind of like put it all in the pockets. This next step is optional, but if you would like just a little extra oomph on top and make the tops pretty, you can get some parsley, chop it up with the rest of the butter, with salt and garlic powder. You just kind of mix it in and it looks really nice on top. Okay, pop it in the oven for 20 minutes or so, just so that way the biscuits can get nice and golden brown. Then while they are cooking, you can also go scramble up some eggs and toast to make a nice, delicious breakfast. Here you go. Ta-da! These are delicious. My husband ate the whole plate within an hour.
It was very delicious.